Namanda 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 Namanda.
Good morning. Welcome to our service. Today we are observing an animal memorial service. As you can see, we have photos of our beloved pets that have passed away within the year or previous years. And at this time, we'd like to have a floral presentation. Is it? By Alex Kawaguchi.
Good morning. My name is Jules Belts, and I would like to welcome you to today's service. We will begin our service with opening meditation followed by Nembutsu. Please join me in placing your hands together in Gasho.
Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
Please rise for the singing of the Gatha, When We See the Golden Sun, on page 227 on the service book. Followed by the reenaction of the Golden Chain and Nembutsu on page 5.
Golden chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
Please join in the chanting of Sutra Jugse on page 95 of the service book. During the sutra chanting, we will have a shoko or incense offering by the following: Dharma School student Andrew Kawaguchi and adult Mei Mei Coleman.
Kagon chosegan hishimu jodom shigan fumanzok seifujo shogak kaomuryokom Fumidai Senshu Fusai Shobingum Seifujo Shogak Kashijo Butsudom Myosho Jojipom Kukyomi Shomon Seifujo Shogak Ryokujin Shonen Joei Shubongyo Shigumu Jodom Ishoten Nishim Jiniki Daikom Fushomu Saidom Shoujo Sakumyom Kosai Shuyakunan Kai Jiegen Meshikomoan Heisoku Shoakudom Tsudatsu Zen Shumon Kosojo Manzok Iyodo Jipom Nichigatsu Shujuki Tenkon Pugen Ishukai Hozom Kosei Kudokuom Jodai Shuchu Seppo Shishiku Kuyo Isaibut Kusoku Shutokuon Kane Shitsujoman Tokui Sangayom Ryobutsu Mugeji Tsuda つみ不詳科学エリ都市最小村志願略か大勢の感動国書店に当地妙見ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしくろく平等正罪東本を大心おりょあんらこナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブ
We will now listen to a Dharma message by Reverend Candace Shibata.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Oh, that's a nice good morning. So what I'd like to do is share a PowerPoint presentation of a nice new book that I found to observe our pet memorial service. So just going to take one quick minute. Thanks, Darlene. Not yet. Just go down here. Okay, let's hope it works today. Okay, yay. Okay. So thank you again for joining this pet memorial service for today. So this Dharma message was inspired by this new book, and I think I found it online from somebody else who had shared from the same author, and it's called The Invisible Leash. Okay. The Invisible Leash. And this is written by Patrice Karts and illustrated by Joanne Liu, Veerhoff? Veerhoff? Okay, so this is a little bit small for me to read, so I'm going to use my book. Invisible Leash. Ready to go, Zach? Emily asked her friend. It was Friday and the rest of the kids were already racing home from school, excited for the weekend. Zach shook his head. He just wanted to be alone. Okay, but let's hang out at the treehouse later, Emily said, leaving him at his desk. The only thoughts in Zach's mind were of Jojo as he slung his heavy backpack over his shoulder and slowly headed home. This weekend, Jojo wouldn't be there. Jojo had been Zach's best friend in the whole world. They played frisbee on the weekends. Together they hiked the hills and trails near Zach's house. And when the moon was full, they howled together as it smiled down upon them. Mom and Dad tried to cheer Zach up with his favorite rainbow cupcakes, but Jojo wasn't there to steal the very last bite. Cupcakes aren't the same without Jojo, Zach said, and pushed his plate away. We'll adopt another dog as soon as you're ready, buddy, Dad reassured him. But Zach wasn't interested. No other dog, Dad. Never. I just want Jojo back. Zach stomped off, and when his bedroom door slammed, it shook the whole house with sad. Before dinner, Emily came by to see if Zach could play. Hey, what's wrong, Zach? Why didn't you meet me at the treehouse? Come over. Emily tugged playfully at Zach's arm, and they began to wind their way through the neighborhood. But Zach dragged his feet. Jojo died this week. He got old and sick. Now I'll never see him again, not ever. He started to cry. Emily understood. It's okay, Zach. I cried so hard when Rexy died too. But then I heard the news. Zach was curious. What news? Emily had a sparkle in her eyes. Oh, just the very best news ever. Rexy and I will always be connected, Emily continued, just like you and Jojo. Huh? Zach blinked. That makes no sense. How can you be connected to someone that's gone? Emily held out her hands. Because they're not all the way gone, see? Zach squinted and stared, but only saw the air. Are you playing a trick on me? Because I can't see a thing. I know, but the invisible leash is the realest thing in the whole wide world, Zach. When our pets aren't here anymore, an invisible leash connects our hearts to each other forever. Zach folded his arms across his chest. I only believe in things I can see. A sudden gust of warm breeze blew right through Emily's hair, and she laughed. But Zach, don't you believe in the wind? Even if you can't see the invisible leash, you can feel it. That's what we found out the night that Rexy died. Zach was getting annoyed. There is no such thing as an invisible leash. Grandpa said his grandpa told him about the leash when he was a little boy, and his dog Louie died. He said it stretches to this place beyond where our eyes can see, all the way to where our pets have gone. Yeah, right. That's totally impossible, Zach laughed, even though nothing felt funny. None of this seemed like it could be real. But oh, how he wished it could be. How could Rexy have an invisible leash? She's a cat. You never even walked her on a leash. Not when she was alive, but she has an invisible leash now, just like my sister's bird Cuckoo and my brother's hamster Fred. Well, Jojo didn't really like his leash. He loved running free. Zach figured he'd stumped Emily this time, but she still had an answer. It's not a leash that ties our bodies. It's a leash that connects our hearts. When you love an animal and they love you back, that gives the invisible leash the magic power of infinity to stretch from here all the way to the beyond. Zach wanted to know more. What exactly is the beyond? Do you mean like another planet way out in space? There and everywhere, answered Emily. Grandpa says the beyond can even be all around us. He said that we'd spend the rest of our lives learning that we feel the most important and truest things in the world in our hearts and don't need to see them with our eyes. That's what it means to believe. I wish I could believe, Emily. I wish that so much. Zach began to wonder as they watched the moon rising over the valley. He remembered how much he and Jojo loved the full moon. When Jojo misses me, would I feel him tug the invisible leash, just like when I used to walk him? Yep, said Emily, and it works both ways. When I miss Rexy, I tug on the invisible leash, and sometimes I can even hear her purr. For real, said Zach, looking at his friend in the eye. For very real, answered Emily, and when she added, cross my heart, Zach knew how much she meant it. Warm winds swirled around the two friends gazing at the evening sky. Frogs croaked and crickets started chirping as the stars began to gather. Soon a smile widened across Zach's face. Emily, what if Jojo and Rexy have been looking at the very same moon we're looking at, so they're with us right now? Oh, Zach, she jumped up. I never thought of that before. The very same moon? Now I feel Rexy tugging her invisible leash this exact second. Zach had one last question. What does an invisible tug feel like? Like love, said Emily. Zach's heart started to feel all kinds of warm. Well, I think maybe I can feel Jojo tugging me from the beyond. Right now? Asked Emily. Right very now, answered Zach. They sat there for a long time with no words. Then, when it was time for dinner, they hugged goodbye, and the moon lit up Zach's pathway home. Later that night, Zach looked again at the moon, now glowing full and bright in his window. He was almost positive that he could hear the sound of Jojo beginning to howl, just like he used to. And so he joined in. When they were done, Zach saw Jojo's sparkling brown eyes looking deeply into his. This did not feel like a dream. This felt real. And for the first time since Jojo died, Zach fell asleep happy. Somewhere even higher than the moon, in a place called the Beyond, Jojo and Rexy watched their people, Zach and Emily, as they slept. Jojo ran in circles and barked with joy. We love our people so much. Rexy rolled on the grass, purring. When our people are happy, we feel happy too. The other animals were celebrating alongside them. One day the children of the world will know the truth about their invisible leashes, which let their animals run free but connect their hearts forever. One day, those children will teach others how to believe in things that they could feel, yet not quite see. It was the still of night. Zach, Emily, and the rest of the world's children were now fast asleep in their cozy, comfy beds, and the moon smiled down upon them from high above. It lit up millions and billions of invisible leashes, connecting them all. The end. So that was a perfect book for today's service to remember and, of course, honor our beloved pets who have passed away. And when I was thinking about all of the concepts in this book, I was thinking about the way in which we're connected still to our beloved pets, and even my cat Chewy, he's the big brown and white tabby in the back. He passed away the beginning of this year, and so of course this first pet memorial is a little bit more emotional for me. because he was with me maybe for 6 or so years. He was a senior cat. But now that I read this book and shared it with all of you, then I know that his invisible leash is always with me too. And there was a saying, something I found in one of my books that I was reading, when we think about our beloved pets who have passed away. So all of our beloved pets have specific names, right? So again, my pet's name was Chewy. So for some of you who brought up your animals, what are your pet's beloved names? You can just shout them out. Mimi. Buster. Kai. Kai, Joey. Kylo Ren. How about anybody else who brought their pets' photos? What is it? Kitty. Kitty and kitten. So they each have their names. So just like how we call their names and we can even say their names now, it connects us to them. And that's very similar to the way in which we say Namu Amida Butsu. So at the end of our sutra chanting, we say Namandabu, which is Namu Amida Butsu. And that's saying that, I'm taking refuge in Amida Buddha. And so this saying from Reverend Dr. Taitatsu Uno, he had heard from another Buddhist, Jodo Shinshu Buddhist teacher. He wrote, "If you miss me, say Namu Amida Butsu, for I too live in the Nembutsu." And so Dr. Uno said, in other words, if you have any questions about death or dying, where I am, say Namu Amida Butsu, and that's where I am. And you will also realize that's where you are too. So it's very similar to this concept of this invisible leash, that we can be always connected to our beloved pets who have passed away and always be connected to Amida Buddha. And we know Amida Buddha can't be seen, but definitely wisdom and compassion coming to us at all times can be felt. So although we have an image or statue of Amida Buddha, just like how we have photos of our pets, they're not physically present, but we always know that they're with us, just like this invisible leash. And just like how we say Namu Amida Butsu connects us to our beloved pets and all of our loved ones who have passed away. Okay, so thank you for allowing me to share this book with all of you. And please join me in Gasho as we express our gratitude to all of our pets and all of our loved ones who have passed away. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandabutsu. 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 And thanks everybody for your patience. I know it's warm in here. We're still trying to get the AC fixed, but thank you for your understanding. Are we doing birthdays now? Are we doing birthdays now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll come down.
We will now have birthdays for June and July. As your name is called, please come up and burn incense, receive your cupcake, and have your candle lit by Sensei. We will start with the older students, and please come up quickly so we can get everyone up front before the candles burn away. Dharma School students, Andrew Kawaguchi, Alex Kawaguchi, Emily Wong, are there any other students with birthdays in June or July? Jules Bounce, adults, Peggy Martin, Ruby Gato, Aiko Yagi, Leanne Yu, Scott Nishi, Samantha Lang, June Peters. Are there any other adults with birthdays in June or July? If so, please come forward. We'll sing happy birthday to our dear friends. We'll have a special presentation by the Stockton Buddhist Women's Association.
Okay, so we have an event every year that the Buddhist Churches of America sponsors, and it's called BYR, or the Buddhist Youth Retreat. At this one, we get youth from all over the country that come in together to our Jodo Shinshu Center in Berkeley, and they gather for, is it 5 days, I think? 4 or 5 days? 5 days? 5 days, where they're going to learn all about everything that the minister does up on the Onaiching, and they're going to learn about basic Buddhism. And the most important thing is they get to network with people their own age from across the BCA, or Buddhist Churches of America. So it's a great experience. I don't think Stockton has ever sent anybody before, so this is a historic event. So, so we have two very deserving individuals who have been sponsored. Their registration and everything has been sponsored by the Dharma School program. And one of the essential pieces, the Monto Shikisho, is being sponsored by the BWA, or the Buddhist Women's Association. Oh, I have been asked by Reverend Candace, what is a Monto Shikisho? Well, just to show you one, and this one actually you could purchase, I'll talk about it later. But this is just a representation of us to say that we are followers of the Jodo Shinshu path. And you can wear it anytime you want. I believe Kay and May have theirs on. I left mine in the Oregon so I could show you guys. But we wear it just to show that we are followers of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Again, you can wear it anywhere you want. It comes in a multitude of colors and prints. Each print in each production is commemorative of something. So there have been ones when the Monchu came to the BCA's 100th. There's ones from our 75th anniversary here. This one is one that represents itadakimasu, or the gratitude we have for our meals and everything that goes into having a meal. And this is one that actually is for the BCA 125th. I'm putting a shameless plug in your promotion, so sorry. And these are actually for sale, so if you're interested, you could come see me afterwards. But anyways, and then what the reverends wear is a little bit longer, but it's called a wagesa. So if you're a lay person, you'll be wearing the Monto Shikisho. And so they're going to go and learn all about Buddhism and come back and tell us about their experience, I hope. But the Buddhist churches, the Buddhist Women's Association has purchased them each a Monto Shikisho. So who's going to give? Okay, so one can be one. So if we can have Alex Kawaguchi come up and Andrew Kawaguchi. So they're going to have them wear it, and in the back of most of them, not all of them, but in the back there is the Sagari Fuji. And so on this one, we have to be careful when we put it on because we don't want to wear it upside down. So there is a right and a wrong way to actually wear this. So, okay.
Or was it this one? Oh, it was this one? Is it this one?
So we're going to go ahead and take a photo in the front. And we thank Kathy Fujimori and Sachi Enokita, who are part of the Executive Council for the Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, for presenting. So this will be a great summer adventure. Congratulations and thank you, BWA. High school age. It's high school age? Okay. Not high school age. Not quite. Pretty soon though. You'll get to go pretty soon. Is that what you wanted?
Announcements this week. Today, following the conclusion of this service, Dharma School students will go to the classrooms for cleanup. And the June shotsuki service will begin. For those not attending the shotsuki service, you're welcome to go to the mini chapel for the friendship hour or coffee hour. The SBWA monthly meeting will begin at 11:30 in the mini chapel. For this week only, Stockton Bukyo Taiko will have their weekly practice today from 5 p.m. instead of on Monday. But on Monday, there's a Panda fundraiser for the BCA Dharma Forward campaign. This is online or mobile app fundraiser only. You need to use the fundraiser code 921813. On Thursday, Cortez Hawakai will have their monthly service from 7 p.m. on Zoom. Another Panda fundraiser, this time for the Buddhist Church of Stockton, will be held on Friday, June 7. The fundraiser code is 921764. Again, this is an online or mobile app fundraiser. On Saturday, June 8, Tomonakai lunch will be held from 10 a.m. Next Sunday, June 9th, the Dharma School Awards Sunday and Buddhist Church of Stockton graduation service will begin at 10 a.m. Please join us in honoring our graduating students. Following next week's service, everyone is invited to join in the year-end lunch sponsored by Dharma School. Fingerprinting will be done for those who have not done so already to meet the requirements of California AB 506. Please contact Candy Ayashi if you need to do this. The Buddhist Church of Stockton Open Bazaar is on Saturday, August 3rd. We are in need of volunteers and donations. Please see the Karma for more details. Donations of bingo, silent auction, and bazaar raffle prizes are being requested and are deeply appreciated. Please drop them off during regular office hours. Reverend Shibata's book club will meet on Wednesday, June 26 at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. If you are interested in participating, please contact Reverend Shibata. Sangha Club is continuing collection of aluminum cans and recyclable plastic bottles. Donations may be left by the white bin under the carport area. Help keep our recyclable bottles and cans out of our landfills while supporting one of our youth organizations. Are there any other announcements?
So I see a bunch of new faces today, and faces maybe that don't come all the time. So when the first Panda fundraiser, which is tomorrow night, is for the Buddhist Churches of the Americas, and it's our campaign right now, which is called the Dharma Forward campaign, because we want to take the Dharma forward into the future, which in any organization takes funding. So our goal is to reach $15 million by the end of 2025. So you all have to eat lots of panda tomorrow, okay? The other one on Friday is for our local temple. So this is for this church, which we maybe not have a goal of 15 million, but we also need you to eat lots of panda on Friday, okay? So if you didn't catch those codes and didn't get the newsletter from the temple, the announcements are right here. Please feel free to come up, take a picture of it so you have the codes, and then you order everything online, and they will automatically give 28% of the total sales to the organizations. So we appreciate your help in both places. So just so you understand why. So lots of panda. And so just to complete this one here, so this is the adult size. We also created one that's a children's size. One's for a little bit smaller body, but one that will last for quite a while. This one is 45. The children's one is 35. If you would like to purchase, we have some of the children's ones available. The adult ones, however, for the desire far exceeded our expectations. We actually sold out. We have another shipment from the manufacturer that should be coming the end of July. So if you would like to order one, please see me and I'll write your name down and we'll try to make sure that you get one when we get the next shipment in. And it is a very cute and festive pattern, so please help yourself take a look. Thank you.
If there are no more announcements, students are excused to the classroom, and the shotsuki service will begin. For those not attending shotsuki service, you're invited to go to the mini chapel. Thank you.
Please don't forget to take your photos of your pets as well. Okay. Can you take mine? It's the only one. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, good morning. I apologize deeply for the delay, but we appreciate your patience. But I wanted to welcome, for those of you who are just either arrived or remained with us, thank you for coming to this month's Shotsuki Monthly Memorial Service for the month of June. And this service specifically allows us to turn our hearts and minds to our loved ones and friends who have passed away in June. And so I'd like to begin today's service by chanting Sambujo together. Sambujo can be found on the inside front cover of our service book. And Sambujo is the hymn called Three Respectful Callings. And we call upon Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite wisdom and compassion. We call upon the historical Shakyamuni Buddha. And we call upon the Buddhas of the 10 directions to be present today. And when we call upon especially the Buddhas of the 10 directions, that includes our loved ones and friends in the Dharma who have passed. And so after the chanting of Sambujo, I will state the Hyobyakumon, or the dedication or declaration of this service. And of course, that will be followed by the reading of the Shotsuki names for the month of June. Sam san ge dam ku. We have gathered today to observe our Shotsuki monthly memorial service. This is our monthly service to remember friends and loved ones who have passed away in the month of June. They are Alice Aoki, Mitsuyoshi Asahara, James Doi, Tatsuo Egi, Noriko Vagan, Satoru Dick Fuji, Hideo Fujimoto, Amy Fukuyama, Kimio Futamachi, Robert C. Harper, Richard Kaoru Hayashi, Tokio Hayashino, Konami Kei Hiraga, Yutaka Hiranaga, Kinue Hiranaga, Toshie Hirata, Lori Toshiko Hirata, Tatsu Hironaka, Craig Hisaka, Misao Hisatomi, Tom Horita, Shizue Hota, Miyoji Igarashi, Leonard Hisashi Imada, John Kazumi Ishihara, Richard Ishihara, Ted Ishihara, Richard Isamu Itaya, Noriko Iwaki Kalagari, Fu Kajita, Henry Kawai, Louise Yoshiko Kubo, Jimmy Toshikazu Kumamaru, Henry Kusama, Shizue Masai, Tom Masumiya, Takako Miyamoto, Yoshiko Miyamoto, George Mizuno, Sachiko Mizuno, Marco Masaru Morodomi, Mana Nagata, Robert Matsumi Nakao, Aiko Nishida, Kenji Nishikawa, Mei Mitsu Nishikawa, Hajime Nishimori, Charles Teruo Nomura, Hatsuo Henry Nonaka, Miwa Noyoshi, Mei Ogawa, Jesse Hideo Oji, Tom T. Okamoto, Kakumatsu Oki, George Tsunaji Okubo, Mary Kinue Okubo, Kazuko Oto, Kikue Rogers, Barry Minoru Saiki, Teddy Tetsuo Saiki, Tsuruko Sally Sakakura, Yukie Betty Sakata, Fred Akira Sato, Jack Akitashi Sato, Roy Shiba, Mataki Shimasaki, Akiko Shingu, Naoichi Shimoto, Frank Shinoda, Florence Shiromizu, Masato Sugano, Beatrice Sugawara, Kinichi Ken Sugi, Masashi Sugi, Robert Takahashi, Henry Takeshita, Hiroshi Terakawa, Haru Terashima, Sumie Tsushima, Kiyomi Ueyama, Yoichi Steve Ueda, Naka Wada, Chi Watanabe, Nao Yabumoto, Hi Yamada, Midori Hajio Yamada, Richard Yamasaki, Shigeno Yoshimi, Chao Li Young, Mabel Mitsue Young. We realize in the cherished memories of those we love and have lost. the impermanence of all the world is revealed. May the fragrance of the incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of life's impermanence. May the lights that burn brightly on the altar lead our thoughts to Amida Buddha's light of wisdom and compassion. Please join me in Gashul. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, we'll continue the service with the chanting. And chanting, of course, is our way in which we hear and receive the Buddha Dharma, or the teachings, and it's a way for us to express our gratitude as well, and to be connected to the Buddhists of the past, present, and future. Please join me in the chanting of Sambutsuge that starts on page 82. And of course, I welcome everybody in attendance during the sutra chanting to come forward to offer incense or take a moment of silent reflection that you feel most comfortable with. 小福逆医療五条小仏正解不不可減無臭節度光明師匠変死小国尿税精進偉人な量量が差物国土第一公主奇妙道場調節国領内容任務闘争加藤愛民到達威祭地方大小新熱症状人が国慶楽鉱物神妙聖が新書発願の日力少所用自母生存知恵無限浄土子孫知が信行慶道心心食読中家業精進忍住不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブ観にしくどく平等聖祭道本も大心法上安ナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツOkay, please stand if you're able for the gatha or hymn Tsuicho no Uta verses 1 and 2, which can be found on page 222, and this will be followed by the recitation of the three treasures on page 2. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandauts. Namandauts. Okay, at this time, I just wanted to share my Dharma message or sermon. Let me get ready here, switch gears. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, to begin my message, will you please join me by placing your palms together in Gassho. When we say Namu Amida Butsu, the countless Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters, surrounding us 100-fold, 1,000-fold, rejoice in and protect us from the collected works of Shinran, hymns of the Pure Land. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandabutsu. Okay, so thank you again for joining us for today's Shotsuki monthly memorial service. And it's my pleasure again to be with all of you. And this Shotsuki monthly memorial service allows us again to remember and honor our friends and loved ones who have passed away this particular month. And this message was actually inspired by a chapter from my book club study class that we just had in May. And we had a very meaningful discussion in that particular, and actually all of our sessions together. But this one in particular really touched me. As you may know, as it was mentioned in the announcements, we're currently reading Buddhism of the Heart by Jeff Wilson. And you might be asking yourself, especially those who have to read our announcements, who kind of mention that we have book club every month, you might be saying to yourself, wow, you're still reading that book? So it's true. I looked at my notes. It's been over 2 years since we started this book. And it's only actually 214 pages, and currently we're on page 124. So this is the book, and I really appreciate it. And I don't require any homework or advanced reading for the members of the book club. But of course, those who want to read ahead are more than welcome to do so. But I figured if I don't give you homework, then maybe more people would participate. I don't want it to be too much pressure. But I do enjoy the fact that we can read this together. And to be honest, the chapters can range from 1 to 3 pages, and sometimes we only get through 1 chapter per session. So the reason is because of the very meaningful and heartfelt discussion that our group has with one another. And Jeff Wilson's book takes a look at our Jodo Shinshu Buddhist teachings, and he shares his own life experience, experiences, his own thoughts and feelings on everyday life occurrences, which I believe that we can all relate to. And so maybe this is why it takes us a really long time to get through this particular book. So this particular chapter is entitled Namu, Death, and I wanted to share it with you now. And don't worry, it's only like 1.5 pages. Namu, Death. So Jeff wrote, not long ago my grandpa died, and shortly thereafter my great-aunt Elu Bell passed away. She was the baby in the family. In fact, she was often just called Aunt Baby, though she was already in her 90s when she died. But she had 3 older siblings, so even at her advanced age, she still couldn't escape being Aunt Baby. Her siblings, my grandmother, my grand-aunt Minola, and my great-uncle brother, a nickname he earned by being the only boy in his family, all died within the last few years. Their death brings to a close an epic chapter in this history of my father's family and leave me without some of the most important touchstones of my life and identity. I'm saddened by the loss of these family giants, and yet, as I reflect on the situation, I find that I am moved to gratitude for the fact of death in the midst of this wonder of life. Shakyamuni Buddha identified death as one of the 4 great causes of suffering in the world. The others are sickness, old age, and in fact birth itself, since it leads to the pains we experience in life. I'm certainly not going to argue with the Buddha. Death is the cause of great misery. Among those left behind, we feel bereft and broken and are often financially and otherwise imperiled by the death of another. For the dead, the process of dying itself is often tremendously hard, both physically and psychologically, as our primal animal self-attachment usually refuses to give up life, dragging out the inevitable. And for all of us, the worry of death, our own and that of those we care for, can loom ominously over this already often difficult life. But there is another side to death as well. We could not enjoy life without death. Life exists only because of death. All living things survive on the death of countless others, from the animals consumed for the meat to the plants that push their roots deep into the soil that have been fertilized by the decomposed beings that came before. Death is a necessary ingredient that sustains life, recycling precious nutrients and making room for new generations. As much as I miss them, the older generations of my family enjoyed more than 450 years of life collectively. And had they continued indefinitely, it would have removed scarce resources from the mouths of the young. So too, when it is my time to go to the Pure Land, I hope to die well and clear some space for the fresh new ones coming behind me. After all, I am only borrowing life's resources for a time. So somehow when I say Namu Amida Butsu out of gratitude for all I receive, I have to include thankfulness for death, along with thankfulness of life. Otherwise, my gratitude is incomplete. Namu life, Namu death, Namu all that sustains me, and everything that lives and dies. Namandauts, namandauts. And so, based on this particular chapter, we did dive into even our own feelings of loss and grief. And perhaps Jeff is at a point in his life where in which he continues to grieve his loved ones, but his grief may have transformed him, allowing him to write this particular chapter. However, I know for many of you, if your grief is very fresh, that it may never go away completely, and I've mentioned this before in other shotsuki services, and that perhaps it'll transform over time and transform grief into deep love and deep compassion and deep appreciation, as Jeff was mentioning. And so what does he mean by Namu life, Namu death? And perhaps maybe this is an opportunity for us to, again, understand what Namu Amida Butsu truly means for all of us. And so Namu or Namo, as you've heard, means to entrust. And Amida, A means non, and Mida means measure. So not measurable, or you can't measure. And Butsu is Buddha. And so in my book club, I wanted to break it down just a little bit. And what does it mean? So again, Amida, when you put those two words together, it means that we cannot measure something. And what is it that cannot be measured? So this means light and life. And so light is higher wisdom, and life is compassion. And so what is Butsu? And Butsu, as we know it, is the Japanese way of pronouncing Buddha. And Buddha means one who is awakened. And this includes all of our loved ones who have passed away as they have become awakened beings. And Butsu can also be referred to as Nyorai or Tathagata, and it means thus come. So a Nyorai is a being who has come from thusness to liberate the sentient beings of the world. And so the awakened being of immeasurable higher wisdom and immeasurable compassion who has come from thusness to bring about our emancipation. And so when we say all of this, of course we're not going to say that complete whole sentence, but what we can say is Namu Amida Butsu. And when we say Namu, it doesn't come from ourselves because we know as human beings we have greed and anger and ignorance, and that's just our human nature. But this necessary reliance or entrusting has already been accomplished by Amida Buddha, again the Buddha of wisdom and compassion. And our founder, Shinran Shonin, states that Namu means Amida Buddha is calling out to us even before we have entrusted ourselves to Amida Buddha. And so again, what does this all mean for us who have lost loved ones, who have lost friends in the Dharma, and who are grieving? And so as I mentioned in relation to our beloved pets whose pictures were up here, I wanted to share this quote again from Reverend Dr. Taitetsu Uno when we're thinking about Namu Amida Butsu and what it truly means when we feel the grief of our loss. So Reverend Uno had found this statement before from another scholar. If you miss me, say Namu Amida Butsu, for I too live in the Nembutsu. So again, in other words, Reverend Uno stated, if you have any questions about death or dying or where I am, say Namu Amida Butsu, and that's where I am. And you will also realize that's where you are too. And perhaps, as I mentioned too, when I was sharing about our pets' names and how we used to call out to their names, being able to say the names of our loved ones. And for me, it's an honor to be able to read the names of our beloved friends in the Dharma who have passed away as well. And perhaps you might miss being able to say the name of your loved one, or mom, or dad, or grandma, or grandpa, of your beloved children, or of course your siblings. And I think being able to share stories, as Jeff does in his book, to share stories about his loved ones can ease our heart and ease our pain when we are experiencing grief. And we can be connected to our loved ones and calling out to them and saying Namu Amida Butsu as we put our hands together in Gassho. And in our particular sutra, in Sambutsuge, on page 90, one of the translations says, beings will come from the 10 directions to be born in my country, meaning the Pure Land. They will be pure, their minds filled with gladness. Those in my pleasant country will be peaceful and at ease. And so in this particular sutra, a student is telling a teacher, I would like to attain Buddhahood, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I'll do to ensure that I attain Buddhahood. And so this student is saying that the land in which all of the sentient beings will be born into when they pass away will be born in this particular pure land. And again, their minds will be pure and filled with gladness. And again, it might be difficult to think about our loved ones feeling glad about leaving this physical form and leaving their loved ones and their friends behind. However, we're reassured that they'll be peaceful and at ease. And perhaps our loved ones may have suffered because of illness before they passed away, and this reassures us that they're no longer suffering and that they are at ease, and they are completely awakened and allowing us to still remember and honor them in services like this and to be connected with them, regardless, again, if we can see them or not. Through saying their name, or saying the name of Amida Buddha and placing our palms together. And so perhaps I hope that this sutra and this section of the sutra gives you a little bit of peace and ease as well as you miss them and as you remember them today. And perhaps as Jeff had mentioned, that we can understand that death is a part of life. And it's because of our past loved ones that we're able to be here, allowing us to enjoy this particular one and only life that we have. And it's because of both their life and their passing that allows us to have this understanding of impermanence and is really encouraging and urging us to live a humble life and a very grateful life as well. So thank you so much for allowing me to be with you and share some thoughts and words, and of course Jeff's book with you today. So to conclude my message, will you please join me in Gassho? When we say Namu Amida Butsu, the countless Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters, surrounding us 100-fold, 1,000-fold, rejoice in and protect us. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Okay, so we're almost at the end of our service, but I welcome you. If you can stand, if it's comfortable, for the last Gatha Ondoksan, number 2, which can be found on page 197. And please continue standing if you can for the last meditation as well. Namandavats, 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 namandavats. May we reflect, truly reflect, with gratitude and humility on that which we have been allowed to receive through the teachings of the Buddha. May we always endeavor to listen intently with our fellow beings to the summoning voice of Amida Buddha, and together as one be born in Amida's pure land. With a radiant and boundless mind, may we each regard all living beings with loving kindness without limit. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namandavats, 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 namandavats. You may be seated. So thank you so much, everybody, again, for your kind attendance. And of course, you're more than welcome to join our social hour in the mini chapel. And if you have any questions about any events, please come forward to see the announcements. Are there any other announcements that we might have? No? Okay. And then, of course, if you're here for the Buddhist Women's Association meeting, we'll see you over there in a little bit as well. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful summer until we see you either next week or at the next service. Thank you. Namandavats, namandavats, namandavats. tree. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hi, how are you? Oh, thank you. This is for the temple? Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, if you have to go to the meeting, it's okay. Um,
I am so tired.
I can imagine. What time did you finish on Saturday?
About 9:30.
I don't understand.
Steve is a slave driver, and he just wants to plow all the way through.
Yeah,
So we redid, we took what you guys said and reworded the vision statement, changing a flourishing, I forgot what it was, flourishing something to, no, flourishing stayed, but vibrant came out. Vibrant got changed to engaging. So you're an engaging minister, not a vibrant one. Because we sat there and I said, yeah, I can understand. They said, no, ministers are supposed to be calm and everything. It's not like bouncing off the wall. So it was like, yeah, I guess vibrant, you could have a minister that's like 10 Red Bulls and say they're vibrant.
Right.
But,
right.
So we changed it to engage.
Oh, nice.
Much more calm, huh?
Well, yeah, and that's what we want, right? To be able to engage with our members.
Yes, exactly.
In the
So that
Dharma.
came out of the FPSTL Bodhi Leaders.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I thought it was a great start.